It's become extremely popular the last few years to skip breakfast. One group of people suggest to skip breakfast or intermittent fast, and another group of people say, like, eat a really high protein, high quality breakfast. And there's another group who treat breakfast as whatever, eat donuts, cinnamon rolls, cake, sugared coffee, sugar dessert coffee, really. Um, but I'm here to make the announcement once or for all. Once and for all. Should you eat breakfast or should you intermittent fast? Right away, I'm going to make something clear. Whether you eat your first meal at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., any time of the day, it's still breakfast. Breakfast is breaking your overnight fast for the first time. It's the most important meal of the day because it sets your gut right for the rest of the day. Now, a quick gut side tangent. Gut health is extremely crucial to overall health. With a poor gut, you won't absorb all the nutrients in food and a ton of other stuff. You won't digest food as well, making your body work even harder to digest, which is stealing your energy. You're only either resting or digesting at once. You cannot do both at once. And third, your gut makes 90% of serotonin. That's like your happy, feel good hormone. So, with those 3 bullet points alone, and that barely scratches the surface of gut health, it's very clear to us that breakfast is extremely important to prepare the gut for a great day. So, first things first, no morning breakfast is much better than crap breakfast. If you're eating crap food, it's better to skip breakfast. That's simple. First things first. If you're eating like cereal, sugary coffee, bagels, pastries, pancakes, things like that, you're better off not eating breakfast in the morning. Throughout this article, we'll be diving into throughout this video, we'll be diving into intermittent fasting and eating morning breakfast. There'll be one final answer to should we be intermittent fasting, the type of people who it best works for, and alternatives to get one final answer on intermittent fasting. So first, what is quality breakfast? Remember, breakfast is not your morning meal, it's the first meal you eat of the day. A quality breakfast includes protein, which could be from eggs, yogurt, red meat to keep you satiated, simple sugars from fruits and honey, helps your metabolism and boosts morning energy, and simple fats, and could be from coconut oil, eggs, and yogurt, giving you sustained energy throughout the day. If you're eating a crap breakfast, stop because it's destroying your gut health. There are quality breakfast options, and the best breakfast options are good gut health options. And they're also more energizing, more satiating. So good breakfast, again, going back to that, good breakfast is so much better. Whether you eat breakfast in the morning or intermittent fast and wait until the afternoon, the foods that you need are to support your gut with your first meal. So now, what's the difference between a morning breakfast and intermittent fasting? This is where we'll get into it. I won't give you my answer. I will give you the information to suit what is best for you. This isn't really a binary, good or bad, black and white. It's a personalized thing. And that's why it's not a great idea to intermittent fast just because you saw it on the internet or just because you think that you might want to. This is why you're here. You're going to make the right choice for you. This will inform you on the nuances, the whys, and the type of people who should versus shouldn't intermittent fast. So the case for a morning breakfast. I will say I personally eat a morning breakfast. It's 4 to 5 eggs with cayenne pepper and a yogurt bowl with blueberries, honey, and cinnamon. I don't tell you what I eat to convince you or tell you what to do. I share it so you know where I personally stand and what I'm actually practicing. And I think that's important because I can give the goods and the bads of both sides, but it's important that you know the side that I am personally on because that's where I'm coming from. That's my perspective right now. But I do try to be in here as completely open as possible to both sides because I see that there is benefits to both of them. So we'll get into that. I'm always experimenting. Things will change. I have intermittent fasted in the past for months on end. So I have experienced both ends of the spectrum and both have been amazing for different things. So morning breakfast stabilizes blood sugar first, when you eat a quality breakfast, your blood sugar stays pretty stable through the entirety of the day, assuming your other meals and snacks are relatively good. When your blood sugar isn't stable, that's when you get the crashes or the energy dips throughout the day. And when I'm talking about breakfast in the mornings here, I should add, just as a side note, I'm talking about quality breakfasts, quality foods. That's why I mentioned earlier, no breakfast is better than crap breakfast. So next is cortisol management. Your cortisol is naturally high in the morning. You're alert, you're energized. The thing is there's a lot of cortisol. There's a lot of stressors in modern day. So you want to manage this cortisol that we get in the morning. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but we just want to manage that and have it under control. Eating a satiating meal, quality breakfast, signals to our body that, hey, we got food today. We're not going to die. We are safe. We got food in the morning. During this, your body shifts from catabolic, breaking down stored glucose and fatty acids for energy, to anabolic, which is building and storing carbs for energy and using nutrients to repair muscle and tissue. Now, for women, it's better to shift out of catabolic earlier because your body is breaking down muscle to get proteins. Lower muscle mass will be lower metabolic rate, which is just less energy throughout the rest of your day. This applies to men as well, but because women typically have a lower muscle mass than men, it affects them a little bit more sensitively. They're a little bit more sensitive to it. Intermittent fasting is popular for weight loss, especially because it keeps you in catabolic longer. So you're using your stored glucose and your stored fats, and you're burning it because you're using it. Without breakfast, morning cortisol stays higher. It's more difficult to drop evening cortisol, causing sleep issues, and you could deregulate cortisol over time. This is also an important point for women specifically, because it's good to regulate your cortisol in the morning, because women's hormones are less stable than men's. They're more adaptable. They vary a lot more. While fasting women are also more sensitive to a suppressed thyroid due to a lack of T3 hormone creation. And T3 is your inactive thyroid hormone. Because women's hormones are less stable, they're more sensitive to fasting stress. Regular intermittent fasting forces the body to shut down non-essential systems like reproduction. So if reproduction is something that's important to you, intermittent fasting as a woman is probably not a good idea. Next is appetite regulation. Without a quality breakfast, you aren't going to be as hungry. It's that simple. Whereas if you intermittent fast into the afternoons, you'll get much hungrier and reach for more snacks or unhealthy food options for lunch. So if you're not eating the breakfast, you might get a little bit hungry into the later afternoons, or reach for a poor lunch option just because you're so hungry. So yeah, it's much better for appetite regulation to eat breakfast in the morning. Now, the case for intermittent fasting. I experimented with this, as I said, for months, like quite a few months on and off in 2024. I went a few months and I was doing it, and I stopped, and I did it for a few more months later on. My main goal, the reason I did it, was to increase focus so I can get more work done, be more focused, because like biologically, hunters in tribes and stuff, they were not eating food in the morning because they hadn't hunted for it yet. They had to go out and hunt. So they had to be peak alertness, very focused, so that way they could hunt and be the sharpest and outsmart the animals they were hunting. So we'll get more into the focus as a bullet point in a second, I believe. But that's why I personally tried intermittent fasting. But one thing it's really good for is cellular cleanup. This will improve cellular repair, reduce inflammation, and give you longevity benefits. And this peaks roughly 16 to 24 hours of fasting. So right in that intermittent fasting window. Next is growth hormone increase. Fasting increases growth hormone, healing you, repairing tissue, preserving muscle, and burning fat. Improve insulin sensitivity. Your cells more easily take in sugar, stabilizing blood sugar, and create energy properly. This only happens if you break your fast with quality food, otherwise it does not matter. If you're intermittent fasting, no matter what time, when you break the fast, it must be with a quality meal, otherwise you're basically throwing away the benefits of intermittent fasting. Next is mental clarity and focus, like I mentioned for myself. Fasting brings more focus, especially helpful for those studying or doing deep work during their fasting window. Toward the end of their fasting window is the best. There's no post-meal dip either. Sometimes after you eat, you just get a slight dip or maybe a little bit of brain fog, or you're not as alert. It's because your body got food. It's recognizing that it's safe. It doesn't have to be as alert. And also, your body is then working on digesting something as well. So, you shouldn't have to worry about the post-meal dip too extremely if you're already eating pretty good food. Now, sometimes people will practice intermittent fasting to eat less calories, but then they just get hungrier in the afternoon. So the chances are that they overeat lunch or snacks or dinner. They're actually eating roughly the same amount of calories. So it just makes it harder to break the fast with quality food. So that is just something to keep in mind as well. Now, those are the benefits of doing both, but we can dive into the nuance a little bit because we can get the benefits of both. There's a middle way. I personally would advise people not to intermittent fast, but you have the information that I just gave you about intermittent fasting. So for the normal person, it's much healthier to eat a good breakfast. You'll regulate cortisol, you'll increase insulin sensitivity. It will help if you are anxious, if you're often hungry, if you work out in the mornings, if you work a physical job, if you sleep poorly, if you're stressed, if you struggle with focus, if you have thyroid issues or are trying to build muscle. That's all reasons for eating a quality breakfast. So typically, a morning breakfast benefits. It's a good thing. Once you get the baseline set, intermittent fasting may work better, but the thing is, intermittent fasting is more of a beginner-friendly diet strategy because it doesn't really restrict foods, it just restricts you to a time. So that way it's typically beginner-friendly. So there's a middle way, I think, that you can get the benefits of eating a quality breakfast and intermittent fast. So most people think that intermittent fasting is just skipping morning breakfast, but it's not. It's eating within a time window. Most people choose this window to be something like noon to 8 p.m. or noon to 6 p.m., but you can make your window whatever you want. You can make your window 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can make that window whatever you want. So this way you get to eat a morning breakfast and get all those amazing benefits of eating the morning breakfast, and you still get the great positives of that like 16-hour fasting window as well. That's if you break the fast with a quality meal, which is super easy to do if you are eating a great breakfast. What I would personally advise is whenever you have to get to work in the morning, just make your fasting window an hour before that. If you start work at 9, make it 8, so that way you can eat a good quality breakfast. Eat the breakfast, eat a good quality lunch, maybe skip lunch and eat a high quality dinner, but that's just early. You might be eating at 3 or 4 p.m. Just make sure that's a high quality meal. Now, you can do a little testing. Week 1, intermittent fast until noon, then begin eating. Week 2, eat a quality breakfast with no fasting window. Week 3, intermittent fast with a quality breakfast, then stop eating late afternoon. And now just notice which week you feel the best. It's that simple. Everybody's doing different things, and everybody might find something that works differently for you. This is why I tell you to do whatever you're going to do. I'll give you the information. I'll give you the strategy. Now you do what you will with it. And since you've read this, you're obviously interested in since you've listened to this, you're obviously interested in intermittent fasting, so you're probably apt to try it. Run it as an experiment and iterate. That's why I give you the 3-week experimentation process. And journal or keep an awareness, keep some way to keep awareness around your energy while you were doing the 3 different things, the 3 different weeks, and you will find what works best for you. Now, if you're looking to increase your health and all-day energy, you can sign up for a health audit call with me. We will analyze your current lifestyle, find energy draining habits, and get you 3 quick wins to maximize your all day energy in a 6-minute call. The link for that is in the top of the description.